Hello, everyone, and welcome to another nextSource podcast. Today, I am joined with David Sidlar, Senior Vice President of Client Services, to discuss the topic of talent scarcity. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today, David.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And so I really just want to speak today about what's going on in the economy and basically what we can do with talent scarcity moving forward for employers. So if you could just give us some advice there, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do. So, the last jobs report indicated, even though there was a slight decrease in unemployment, we still have well over 10 million open jobs within the United States. Demand is far outstripping supply, and it's causing things like longer fill times for employers. Wages are rising, and candidates are disappearing mid-process because they found a better offer. So what is it that an employer can do? First off, make things easy. Traditional approaches to finding, interviewing, onboarding resources will not cut it in today's market. You really need to look at your overall onboarding process as well as your hiring process. For example, if you look at your applicant tracking system and make sure it's fit for purpose. And what I mean by that is it may give you everything you need as you're going through and you're sorting through applicants, but from the applicant's perspective, does it parse resumes adequately? Does it reduce the amount of rework that the applicant has to do? Because double entry is a non-starter. As folks start to get into your applicant tracking system and enter that data, if they have to go back and correct all of it because the parsing wasn't accurate, they're going to just bow out at that point and move on to something else. And excuse me, the other thing you really need to consider, especially in the post-COVID world, is flexible work environments are a must-have. It is no longer, a goal that we're going to have some flexible work environments where maybe you can work at home from a day a week. That, again, is probably a non-starter in today's market. The more flexible you are, the better and more likely it is that you're going to be able to bring more candidates in the door. And review your job requirements. Many job postings out there will say for entry-level roles, a minimum of a bachelor's degree is required. Well, is it? Is a bachelor's degree required, or would a high school diploma do? Would an associate's degree do? When you start to look at the actual details of the role, do they line up with the years of experience that you would expect to find at that level? All of those are going to be clues for would-be candidates to either jump in with both feet or to be wary and move on to something else that's a little bit easier. And finally, look internally, train and promote. Your best group of folks that you have are already working for you. So instead of doing that search outside the company, do you have folks inside the company that you can train and promote and move through the ranks of your own organization? All of those things are going to help you be a little bit more effective in finding those candidates and bringing them in. And one last thing, employer branding is really important. And one of the things that employers really shouldn't be spending their time doing is depending on the company brand. Your company brand is not the same as your employer brand. So you need to think a little bit differently about it. What do your current employees say about you? What do your past candidates say about you? What do your new hires say? All of those things will give you ideas into what you can change and where there's low-hanging fruit to make it easier to work for you as an organization. And believe me, candidates talk. There's, aside from the myriad of websites out there that you can rank companies at, candidates talk, and especially when they have something good to say. Hey, I had a great experience for company XYZ. That's fantastic. They've got a lot of job openings. Maybe I'll look there too. Those are conversations that take place all the time and something that we all need to think about. So in a real short nutshell, those are some quick things that you can do in this really candidate-driven market to hopefully fill your roles faster and get better talent for the time that you're investing into it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. I think that pretty much wraps up everything we're speaking to today. But to our audience listening, make sure you head over to our website, nextsource.com, where you can find links to all of our social sites. Make sure to give it a follow. And David, I'm sure we'll be speaking soon. Thank you so much again, and goodbye, everyone.